Hello, everybody. This is Beth Worsdell, author. This is the Witty Writers show. And I'm so excited because I've got Raven Eckman with me. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. I am so thrilled because I knew about your book release for quite a while. Super excited. And oh my God, Raven, tomorrow is the day.
Yeah, I only cried like 4 times so far when I got the books in, so I'm just waiting for me to like have a emotional breakdown tomorrow. It'll be tears of joy, I promise, but I'll just be like, Mom!
I'm so excited for you. Oh my God. So tomorrow is literally your book birthday. It's it's going to be put out there and shared to the world.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling right now?
I mean, I'm a contradiction. Like it's nerves, excitement. I had the arc go out, so it didn't go out to the world per se, but that went out, and that was kind of like, wow, after all these years, I'm finally sharing it, kind of thing. So it's definitely a tie between like relief that it's out and like all the puzzle pieces kind of like fit together. Nerves because obviously you're sharing like a part of yourself, like it is your book, baby, literally. So that's coming out. But then just excited because I remember when I was in high school and I was thinking about writing a book and I'm like, I'm going to be the next best-selling author. And then that dream stayed with me.
It's just amazing. And do you know what? I'm a great believer that a positive mental attitude and belief in yourself can go a really, really long way. We've already got people joining us. So thank you for joining in. Please pop up and say hello so we know you're here. We've already got Josephine from the UK. She's, oh, there we go. Why isn't it showing up? Show. Oh, there we go. 3 clicks there, Raven. So Josephine's joined us from England. Hello, Josephine. Little shout out to Josephine, bless her. She's been feeling a bit rough, Raven, because she's just had her COVID jab.
Oh,
yeah, and she didn't react to it very well. So we hope you're all feeling, on the mend, Josephine.
Yes, I hope you're feeling better.
I know, bless her. We've also got Heather. Hi, Heather. She's joined us as well. She says hi. That is so sweet. We've got more people joining as we speak. So make sure you say hello. If you want to ask Raven any questions, please put them in the comments and then I will pop them up and show everybody. Kirsten's here from Minnesota. Hi, Kirsten. For those of you who haven't met Raven before, Raven is actually a published author with Fox Point Publishing, a fantastic publishing company, which is family owned, which is really unusual. But it does mean that you get that personal touch, which is lovely. And Kirsten is the owner of Fox Point Publishing. And that's who you're publishing your new book with.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I'm trying not to smile, Raven. I'll explain to everybody why in a minute. Josephine says, oh, thank you. So she appreciates the love, bless her. And we've got Wanda's just joined us from Writer's Rock. Thank you, darling. She says she's staying in the corner because she's driving.
Well, she's driving. Well, be careful.
She's listening while she's on the road. She's a multitasker.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate it.
Now, for everybody who's literally just joined, this is Raven Eckman. We're celebrating, like massively celebrating her new book release, which is coming out tomorrow. And do you happen to have a copy of your book?
I do.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. It's called Shadowspeak. Hold it up so you can see it, Raven. It's absolutely beautiful. And you need to check out Raven's author profiles and everything, because then you can really study the cover, because the cover is beautiful. It has so much depth in it. I've got to say, because when I first connected with you, Raven, you had a different cover in mind.
I did.
However, I think the new one that you've picked has so much depth to it, and it relates so well with your story.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely a winner. I mean, it's stunning. It's got the most. I don't know what the word for her is. I won't say enigmatic because that reminds me too much of the Mona Lisa, But she's just got that presence on the front of your cover, hasn't she?
Yeah, and a lot of people comment the fact that she has actually no face. Like, her features are very unclear. So, I mean, it's on purpose. I promise. There is a reason for it in the book, or kind of like a meaning behind it. But that's kind of one of the first things people comment on.
Yeah, but you know what I noticed, and I don't know whether this is just because I'm an artist as well as a writer, but her body language and the way she's positioned speaks volumes. I'm so excited for it. Honestly, I really, really am. I can't wait to tell everybody and show everybody it. We've also got Theodore, who's just joined us. He was one of our winners recently for sharing the author interviews. He says, "Hi, Beth and Raven."
Hello.
He's so sweet. He really is. He's fabulous. He's one of our top viewers. He's absolutely brilliant. And Kirsten, very kindly, has just put up your profile for Fox Point Publishing.
Yeah,
so thank you very much. I do believe I have actually put all your links and everything attached to the video, so everybody can hopefully find you straight away, which is brilliant. Now, Shadowspeak is such a fantastic name, and I'm so curious about how you started it all. But I want to go back to right at the beginning, because I believe that it was your grandmother who actually triggered you and your book passion. Now, I'm so curious because I read this in your bio. Obviously, I research the authors I interview like a reader would. And that popped up to me straight away because I had a very close bond with my grandmothers.
Yeah.
So after she gave you this book challenge, which I think is so cute, what was the first book that you read from that challenge that got you?
I actually, I don't really remember the first book I read. I will be fully honest. She got tired of the part of the challenge was she got tired of me moping because I was terrified to go into like high school, and I like missed all my friends, even though most of my friends were going into high school. So she challenged me, like, then, as you had said, to read a book a day. Well, I started to cheat because I was like, oh, I'll get like the little tiny like novels or like a comic or something like that. I found out I didn't appreciate comics as much as I thought I would. But I then got into the Percy Jackson series. Was actually like the full length, and then I kind of went from there. So then it was everything. Like, I was reading, I stole some of my mom's romance novels because like my mom always liked them, so I thought I'd like them, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't like these as much, Mom. Like, I'm like, these historical romance, what are these? But I got really close with the librarians that summer, and then it just went from there. Like, I tried everything. I found a passion in fantasy. I did a lot of contemporary and then transitioned over into fantasy. Did some horror that made me make sure I kept my bedroom light on because it kind of scared me a little bit. I appreciated it, but I was a little like, all right, well, like, is anything actually going to like pop out? Like, did I read something by mistake? But it was fine. And then it just grew from there.
It's absolutely amazing. Do you know, I'm a great believer that there's a book lover in all of us. I really believe that, Raven. I really do. And I've said that to my children, so I've got 4 kids. I think what you've just said is absolutely spot on. It's finding the right genre for you. And I think lots of people, they try 2 or 3 different genres and think, yeah, I'm not into it. And unfortunately, they just give up instead of, like you, keep trying different genres. For me, I was the other way. I got introduced to horror books by my very good friend Zoe, who was a school friend, and I'm still in touch with her. I can't call her an old friend because she's slapped me. She's not old, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, a very good friend.
Bless her. But she introduced me to James Herbert.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. I literally went through her whole bedroom library. I literally went from one book to the next, to the next, to the next. Since then, I have not been able to stop. And I think that's such a big deal, isn't it? Is finding the books that talk to your brain and your heart.
Exactly. And there's some like from like Percy Jackson, for example, when he came out with like this like the spin-off series that kind of had the main characters but then like a new characters. I was in college and I definitely like every book release, I'm like standing in line with all these younger kids and I had no shame checking out this. I was like, yep, I'd like a copy. That would be me. Like I am Raven picking up this copy. Like and then I'm sitting there in the kids corner reading it because again, no shame.
That's the best way to be, though. I think writing and reading is such a passionate pastime.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think it really, really is. And I love the fact that you were so involved with the library. That's one thing that I don't know about you, but I'm missing that really bad at the moment.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and
you never know what you can find.
Exactly.
Like you go and you're kind of like, oh, like there's a new book, or like there's a whole like genre-wise, like oh, I never even knew this existed.
Exactly. I'll tell you what is nice though, and I don't know whether everybody who's watching, you'll have to let us know in the comments. But I do love the fact that some libraries are going above and beyond to do online events. And I know the local libraries here in California, a lot of them are doing these fantastic online events, from reading children's stories to doing celebration days for Valentine's Day and Christmas and everything else. That is amazing. And I think that's so lovely that they're able to keep that alive. For you, with your new release, for those who have just joined us, Raven's just about to release her fantastic new book tomorrow. If you can hold it up again, because it's so lovely. This is Shadowspeak. Oh, it's so exciting. So from your point of view, the fact that libraries are really making an effort to keep the connection alive with their readers, that must be brilliant for you with a new release coming on.
Well, it's been difficult though. Yeah, it's hard because because you can't do any in person or any in person signings, so it's all virtual, and then it's kind of working it out. Like I know for myself, like I used to was like, oh, I'm not tech savvy, but like I know what I need to do or what I'm doing. And then the first time somebody mentioned Zoom to me, I was like, what the heck is Zoom? I was like, what? And like I downloaded it, I'm just staring at like, okay, it's loading. Where's my face? Okay, there I am. And then like I'm already in the meeting. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, okay, this is embarrassing. I should go. So you never know. And then you're trying to connect, and you're like, well, do you have time and the schedule and like viewer wise? And then in terms of promoting, you can't really go in and like drop anything off or flyers. So it's different. I'm anxious for the world to open up, just because I've attended book festivals as a fangirl. Like I've definitely like hardcore. I had my merchandise on. Like I was ready to see the authors. I cried when I met my favorite author. It was very embarrassing because she was like, how are you? And I was like, well, I didn't like, at the time I was like, well, I didn't cry today. And she was like, well, that's good. I was like, thank you. And then I laughed and was just like, I met her. So
that is so lovely.
But as an author, I want to go.
Exactly. And you shouldn't feel embarrassed, because I think if I met some of my favorite authors, I'd be blubbering wreck. I would be like, yeah, I'm not sure I would be able to speak. So you actually did better than I think I would.
Well, it's fun. It's like kind of like I have 6 copies of like, your book, and I don't need that many, but I definitely have 6 copies of your book because I love you that much. But I don't want to tell you I love you that much because that's a little creepy. So here's 1 copy that I would like you to sign, and like 6 book plates for friends. But it's really for me, but it's definitely for friends.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. We've got Marlena's just joined us as well. She says, hi, Raven. She says she's so happy for you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. Having your first book release is absolutely amazing. I just want to explain to everybody, if they're wondering why I'm not like beaming as normal, and I did explain. Don't make me laugh, Raven. It hurts. I did explain to Raven before we came on. I broke my tooth on Thursday, Friday last week. And I had to have it pulled out because I broke it right down to the root. So I feel like I've been punched in the face by Mike Tyson. And hence why I'm finding it a bit difficult to do my normal natural smile. But I'm smiling and grinning on the inside, Raven.
Okay, I will laugh for for you. Like, you'll just like send me some kind of cue, and I'll be like, wait, she's laughing, guys. Like, haha.
My sister's like, you're a trooper. You always just carry on. I'm like, yep, I do. I do. Guys, if you've got any questions for Raven, please pop them in the comments and I will ask her. If you are joining us not live and later on when you get home from work or whatever, please still ask Raven questions because she will be looking and replying to you. Now, Raven, I am absolutely fascinated on how you've come up with the idea for Shadowspeak. I'm so intrigued. Now, I know it has like a Norse theme.
Very loose, yes. Very loose.
Is that something that you've been intrigued about for a long time, or did inspiration just slap you in the face?
A little bit of both. So I'm an English major, and I majored in creative writing, and I minored in history. So I actually like fell in love with mythology, folklore, anything like that. My senior thesis was on the Grimm fairy tales, and I did how they were like psychologically they explained mental illness, but like in the characters kind of thing. So when I was writing Shadowspeak, I actually had done it as a project for a senior year as like a kind of like a one of the chapters was just like how was it? It was an elemental thing of like, okay, like put yourself in a place and then kind of go from there. Completely forgot about it. Just didn't think about it, anything like that. And I actually stopped writing for 5 years.
Wow. That's what you call taking a creative break.
Yeah, so I stopped writing, and I actually was watching Vikings with my grandmother. And so my grandmother and we watched Vikings, and then she has her crime shows. So it kind of like became this weird of like, well, what if I told a story from like a prostitute's perspective, but in like a medieval, like historical setting, but like threw in old religion and how that played in terms of the general population. And then it kind of got like this really weird mix of where like she was sold unwillingly, and then you have a town where there's no rules because they're considered like old school and like the old ways, but you have like everybody else that's the new ways, but are they really the new ways? So it just kind of became this whole complex thing, and like who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, is it really as clear as the villain and not the villain kind of thing? And then what are these shadows? And we went from there.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Do you know what? I think some of the best books I've ever read were created because the author thought, what if this happened? Or what if the world was like that? And I think that's amazing. Do you know what? I think that's one of the best tools an author can have is that question, what if?
Oh,
what
yeah.
if I did it that way? And I think that's absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that you have these key elements in your book and in your story that just blow your mind. It really, really does. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's a little tough. It's tough to follow. I personally appreciate flashbacks and using flashbacks, and I like first person. So it's really in Rune's head, and Rune actually wasn't even named for a while. Like she was like the main character, but she didn't really have a name. And I had name in as her name because I just wasn't sure who she was and what was going on. And then there was a specific scene in the book that's actually written like as a flashback later that then it clicked. I was like, oh, Rune means secret.
I never knew that. Interesting.
So and then I brought in terms of like Icelandic language, and I was looking at Old Norse and kind of how to play with by incorporating an older language to show like the older historical aspect in a point, but it's fictionalized. So then it was kind of like, all right, well, what are the words and like what world are you creating kind of thing.
That's just amazing. Honestly, absolutely amazing. And I'm a Vikings fan too. I love it.
Well, there's a Viking con in Maryland apparently, and I was so excited. I was like, I will dress up. I will attend. I volunteer. Are we having it this year? Like, I will definitely go because one of the requirements is dressing up. I was like, that's fine. I will buy the costume. I will find something.
Oh my God. I need to tell my son that because he really does think he was born in the wrong era.
I can relate. I understand.
And some of our viewers have seen a photograph of my son dressed in one of my Destination Unknown t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
He's a man mountain. He's like 6'4" and he's built like a brick outhouse. I mean, he's just he's so muscular, honestly. But I could see him as a Viking.
Yeah.
I really could. I have to say though, just quickly while we're on the Viking topic, I don't know about anybody else, but I am still mourning the loss of Ragnar Lothbrok. That was a sad day. When he got killed off, that was a sad, sad day for mankind. But never mind. Anyway, we've got some more comments, so I'm going to put them up.
Okay.
Let's have a look. We did that one. Oh, Marlena says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Beth. I hope you feel better soon." Oh, thank you, darling. I'll get there. I'm just bruised a little bit. That's all. Josephine says, "Great title."
Thank you.
I agree. I think it's a fantastic title. You'll have to tell me in a minute how you came up with that one. Love the sound of this one.
Thank you.
Kelly, bless her. Kelly also says, English major, high five. Oh, there we go.
Woo!
We've also got another comment from Kelly. She says, "Oh, that sounds really good." Paul has joined us. Hello, Paula.
Hi, Paula.
She says, "Yeah, Raven, my favorite editor of all." Laugh out loud. She is so sweet. Stephanie Nietzsche has just joined us as well. She's another fellow author. Thank you, darling. She's got everybody needs to tune in for Stephanie's show tomorrow because she's doing the book hour with Josephine.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun. Marlena says, "Your book sounds really cool."
Thank you.
Marlena is one of those authors where she can literally turn her hand to most genres. Yeah, we need to check her books out as well because I
actually worked with her before, so yeah, her books are fabulous.
There we go. So you know. Kelly says, "Raven, what's your favorite Norse myth?" Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite myth per se, but I really love the Norns, and I just was learning about them, how they're kind of like the Fates, but in Norse mythology. And Joanna Pooley, I think is how you say her name. She's on Instagram, and she's an illustrator actually in Germany, but she does fabulous work, and she does a lot of Norse characters and like kind of prints, like cards. And she recently posted about the Norns, and now I had to research them more because it's kind of like the three sisters, but like a fate that control fate, but in Norse mythology. So that's pretty interesting to me. I like the things that kind of are complicated. Like I love Loki. I love Loki.
Who doesn't love Loki?
Who doesn't love, I had to give like a brief mention to him in the book because I love what the trickster aspect of him. And he may be in any future ones. I might have him more prominent.
Oh, interesting. No,
I love the question. I have to think more about that actually. See which one my favorite would be. I have to go. I have Neil Gaiman's book when he wrote about the North, the North mythology and the North gods and everything like that. I'll have to see what I highlighted the most.
Do you know what interests me, Raven? And you've probably noticed this yourself, especially as you've done English literature and English as your education.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many different cultures who have gods that have similar abilities, similar powers, similar histories. That I find absolutely amazing. I mean, you go from like the Mayans to the Egyptians to the Drogu, to the Druids, the Vikings. They all have quite a few key characters that are so similar in all those different cultures.
It's definitely fascinating too, because then you can kind of so you could compare. So I really okay, so I like Norse mythology. And then you go to Celtic mythology and you find maybe a goddess, like the Morgan or anything like that. And you read about her and you're kind of she sounds a lot like so-and-so, or the many faces that they come up with and their different aspects. It's gorgeous of how any of their stories, good or bad, there's always some story to them or something you should learn from them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And do you know what? I love the fact that all these different cultures have such amazing, rich histories, but also I love the different, what they used to wear, the type of jewelry they used to have. And oh my gosh, I'd like to go back in time and just experience all of them, to be honest with you.
Oh no, definitely. I would love to. Like I love my first job was actually at the Renaissance Fair. So I got to dress up, and I have a new appreciation for a corset because I did not wear one until I actually was there. So I was like, I can't breathe, and they're like, that's on purpose. I was like, okay, all right. So if I pass out, it's normal. Yep, okay, all right. But it's beautiful, the creations, and kind of like, oh, like I love watching on Instagram some of the videos where they make things over in like Scotland or wherever the place is, and I'm like, okay, so shipping's 100, but I want it. Do I need it? No, but it's pretty.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? It's a good job though. Corsets aren't in fashion anymore. I mean, I'm not being funny, but all of us have been so locked down for so long. Not to be rude or crass, but most women just don't even want to wear a bra right now, let alone a corset. I'm sorry, it hurts to laugh. It hurts to laugh. Okay, we got another question. Kelly says, Raven, what's a common misconception you've encountered about Viking culture?
That's an interesting one. So when I was going about it, okay, so when I originally started watching the Vikings, right, I was like, oh wow, it's like really brass and crude and like dark, and like they're raping and pillaging everything, and like there's no morals and anything like that, right? Like you see this portrayal of something, and it's bad, right? It's bad, right?
Yeah.
So the more I read into it, though, it was kind of like, all right, so culturally, this is what they did in terms of like set up and like their encampments, and then not even encampments, right? Like this is their longhouses, and this is their villages, and this is kind of like if they're nomadic, and like everything that they did, right? There was a purpose to it. And yes, granted, any side of things, there's bad aspects like the raping and the pillaging and the taking over kind of thing in terms of a survival, again, where we're at. So a common, I guess, misconception was in terms of portrayal of them, of like how dark everything was. But it was a way of life, and like there was the good and the bad, different things. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not sure if that's a misconception, like a completely detailed misconception, but when I went in at first, when I was like maybe it's like too dark and I won't understand kind of thing, but I have a new appreciation, especially for like darker tales, because it's not always pretty. Like I always used to really like happy endings in books, and kind of where completely didn't make sense, but everything was okay. And now especially with writing myself and coming up with stories, or just life in general, everything's not okay. Like it works out in a sense, but maybe it's not as happy as you would think it would be.
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think when we do write books, we have to be quite realistic, don't we? Especially if we're doing it set in a different time that is more of the dark ages, where it was everything was life and death. If you didn't catch your food, you died. If you didn't,
in the literal sense, yeah,
you died. And then obviously you've got things like diseases and wars and battles for territories and stuff like that. You are absolutely right. There wasn't the negotiations like there are now. They didn't want to really go in a room and talk over, can I have your property? No. Really? No. It was all swords, and you fought for what you wanted and needed. So fair play to you. I think that's spot on. Marlena says she is really fantastic. Oh,
thank you.
I agree. Paula says, yes, I was so sad when he died as well. I cried. Talk about Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yes.
Right. They picked the perfect person for that role.
I mean, I tortured myself because I watched it again because I didn't believe it. So it played, and I was like, no. And I watched it again. I was like, how many times you gotta watch it till you believe it? But
I love it. I love that show. It's absolutely fantastic. Kelly says, yes, they're so interesting. The complex overlap is so intriguing.
Yes,
Um,
I definitely
absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely. Maria says, I need to see pics from Renfest sometime, Raven.
Oh, baby me. I was like 16. All right, let's do it. I'm going to see what I can find. If not, I will go. If they have Renfest this year, I will go and I will take my dog because they have a thing where you can do like the dog days and he is your royal like hound. And my dog was very like he thought he was very special because everybody was giving him treats and he got like a free thing of water. He was loving it.
Oh my gosh, one spoiled poot. That is so cute. I absolutely love it. Kelly says, that's legit the truth, Beth. I'm living for loungewear these days. There we go. See? See? I tell you, and I've got to be honest with you, as you get older, you become more built for comfort and not speed.
Well, when I started college, I was like, oh, I'm going to look fabulous every single day. My hair will always be done. I will have a little bit of makeup. Like, I will look gorgeous. And halfway through, like, my freshman year, I was like, sweatpants, sweatshirt, leggings, sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then senior year, I was just like, I need to survive. Here is my final. Let me go sleep for a week.
Oh my gosh.
But sweatpants or leggings, I could live in those and I'd be fine.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, you're a girl after my own heart. You seriously are. Kirsten says prequels or sequels. Ooh,
uh,
he's put you on the spot
she
there.
did put me aside. Okay, well, there is actually I have a sequel in mind. So a sequel actually comes from a minor character that she's been speaking to me. So I'll give you away that it's a girl. So she's been speaking to
Ooh.
me, but you might actually see the other main characters come back. So it's an idea that I've been playing off with, and it was kind of funny because I was talking to my editor about it, and she's like, "I didn't think of it that way." It's like, neither did I, kind of thing. But in first place, before that, there's actually a prequel that I have on again the minor characters in the book, but they are the creatures in the book. They actually are the main focus in the prequel.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Kelly says, as a reader, I appreciate you approaching the subject without rose-tinted glasses. So yeah, I think most readers will appreciate, a true representation of that time period. I think that's really important because, it was reality, so to speak. Now, I've got to ask you, because for those of you watching, sorry, do you know what? This is so sore. It keeps making my eyes water, Raven.
I'm making her cry, guys. I mean, I'm not doing it on purpose, I swear.
It's making my eyes water. Now, you just said something about your editor, and that's something I wanted to ask you, because you are actually a book editor as well as
Yes.
an author.
Mm-hmm.
How weird is it for you as an editor to have an editor for your book?
It was an interesting, it was a funny experience because on one aspect, any writer will have like, this is like my book, baby, right? And like everything's perfect. And then somebody else reads it and you're like, wow, that is terrible. That is cliche. That is such a big plot hole that, I mean, what was I thinking? So when she first sent me her edits, it was so funny because she had like 8 pages of notes. Now, they bullet points and so forth. But I was like scrolling when I first got it. I was like, wow, my book is terrible. I'm never actually publishing it. Like, what? And then I like did a reference to what she said and I read through it and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. Apparently, like they just died. Like I don't know what happened to them. Like I forgot about them in the forest. They're gone, kind of thing. So it gave me a new appreciation as both an editor and a writer because when I'm approaching somebody's topic, I'm separate from it in a fact that I want the author to succeed and I want it to stay with them as much like what they wanted to create, like get them to where they want to be if they're not fully there yet, or making it stay where they want it to be. But if there's any holes to fix it up. Then as a writer, I was kind of like, okay, so I'm really close to this, but I'm too close. Like I cannot step back because specifically there was a scene in Shadowspeak. Now it wasn't completely cut, but I thought everything needed to be explained. I was like, no, this, and then this, and then this, and then maybe we can end it here. And then the next day I was like, okay, fine. All right, I'll take a chapter. I'll take this line out. Okay. And then before you knew it, was like a little tiny piece. And I was like, fine, I think that explains it enough. Like, all right, I'll trust my reader. So there's two sides to it. And you kind of like, from an editor standpoint, even when I was writing as a writer and editing, it's like, oh, all right, okay, like everything's going to be fine. And like you do get there. Like there was definitely that moment where I was so tired of doing rereads and like proofing that I was like, it's done. I don't care. It's done. And then I did like that one last read. And I was like, sent it. And then I cried because I was like, it actually is done.
Oh,
Like it's happening. And I want other people to feel that too. So like, don't give up. Like if you are writing something right now, do not give up. Don't take 5 years. I regret it, but I mean, I've learned. So like it kind of like I have all these ideas now.
that's the thing, isn't it? I think the major thing as an author, editor, or whatever you are in the book business, it is always one big learning curve, and we learn so much from the people that we actually work with. And it's amazing because sometimes you think, I never noticed that, or I never thought of that. It's all educational, and you have to be very open-minded, don't we? We have to just absorb all these lessons that just pop up and appear around us. And you're absolutely right. I think we go over our work so much as we're creating our story. Sometimes we just go completely blind to what's missing because our brain already knows the story. So it just fills it in without you even realizing it. So you're reading your work and your brain is just compensating and putting it in there when you've not even included it. So I think you're right. And it, for anybody who's watching who is a new author that's hoping to publish, definitely get other people to read your work.
It's scary. Like it is scary to share, and like get somebody you trust. Like reach out to somebody you admire, or you like other writing groups. Like really kind of talk with them first before being like, "Hi, I would like to send you like 6 chapters of my book," kind of thing. But once you find those people that you really trust to send it to, it makes you smile when you get their comments back, because you just know that it's going to help versus tearing you down, depending on like feedback wise. Like all feedback's not going to be good. Like I will be completely honest with you. When I first got my ARC reviews, which I shouldn't have read, but I was like, oh, I'm going to read them. I honestly was like, I'm terrible. Like this book cannot be published. Like it's horrible. But in the end, a Rune for me really was a personal experience, because like she struggles with PTSD. She struggles with anxiety. I have anxiety. It was like kind of like it's not going to be pretty, and it is confusing, but it will be okay, whatever your journey is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely spot on there, because I think the major lesson we learn as authors is that not everyone is going to enjoy our books. It's fact. It is fact. And it's one of the hardest lessons we learn, is that some people will fall in love with our books and some people, they're just not going to connect with it. And I think, and I know you've got all this to come, but there's always going to be that for every 50, 100 fantastic, amazing reviews, you always get that one person who doesn't connect, and it's still a bit of a slap. But you just get on with it, because all those people that have connected with our books make the world of difference. It's really amazing. And I can't wait to see all your fantastic reviews flood in from tomorrow, because I honestly think, Raven, that when people start reading your book, they are not going to want to put it down. It will be like Harry Potter, where they're literally staying up and propping their eyelids up so they can carry on reading.
I mean, I can relate. I definitely did that for the last book. I fell asleep actually with On My Face. So I woke up and kind of like picked up. I literally think I got like 3 hours and woke up and like stared at the page for a second and then went right back to reading. So my mom, when I finally came out of my room, she's like, well, I thought you were dead. And I was like, I don't know what I was doing. Like I finished.
Do you know what? I so funny. We was on vacation in France when the final Harry Potter book came out.
Ooh.
I was devastated because I wanted it to be released before we went away, because I was a massive fan. I read all of them to my kids. So I became hooked myself. I absolutely adored all the characters. And so my husband felt so bad for me because I was so sad about it. He literally was driving around France trying to find an English copy in a French bookshop for me. Found it. He did find it.
That's awesome.
I know. I was like doing the happy dance in this show.
Definitely.
And he said, he gave it to me, and I'm like, I'm gushing. Oh, darling, I'm so thrilled. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. Love you. And he said, you're welcome. And he handed me a book. And as he's walking away, he went, by the way, he dies. With a grin on his face. I'm like, oh.
Spoilers are the worst. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. But the thing is, because he'd found me in the book, I didn't know whether to hug him or slap him.
Yeah, you're kind of like, all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Gosh. Oh my gosh. The joys of being a book reader. Absolutely.
Definitely. Somebody asked me the one time if I had like a book boyfriend, and I was like, well, I feel like if I say one, I'm cheating on the others. So I have many.
I know. It's like when Twilight.
I love them all.
Yeah, exactly. So many of my friends were like, but I like Jacob and Edward. I don't want to choose.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Kelly says, no.
We had that one.
Wrong one. Okay. Paula says, I always send perfect books to Raven. She makes them perfection perfect. There's an endorsement if ever there was one. Jennifer says, hello, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us, darling. My eyes are watering from my two so much. Look, I can barely see. Oh my gosh. Marlena says, reading reviews is always rough. Even if you get 10 positive ones, the negative ones still stick with you. And they absolutely do. I think it's purely a case of, as I said, accepting that not everybody's going to connect with our stories, and just getting a thick skin. I always look at reviews, no matter whether they're good or not so good, as feedback. And I always think of it as feedback. And if I get something that, for example, when I sent out my last one, I got a few comments from my close friends and family who was beta reading it for me. And they were like, there needs to be more blood and guts and, a bit more realistic battle action, because it is an epic battle at the end. And I thought, and I looked and I thought, do you know what? They're right. They are right. It needs a bit more of a punch. So, I went back and I added all that. And I think, it could, if as long as we take it as a positive and do something with it, or just positively brush it off our shoulders and go, okay, moving on. It's all good, isn't it? It really, really is. Now we have got some more new viewers because obviously some people sneak in while they're supposed to be working, Raven, and they sneak on.
I mean, I've never done that, so
I can see literally people coming off, jumping on, because they're sneakily watching at work. So for
you guys, I see you. I appreciate you. I have been there. I definitely my podcast is playing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I had it too loud.
Exactly. It just went off on its own.
Yes.
So for those who didn't get a chance to see your book, Raven, can you please hold it up again? Because it is so beautiful. If you can put it a bit closer, look, 'cause I want to see Rune. Look at that. It's just amazing. It really, really is. So Shadowspeak is releasing tomorrow. Yes. I am so excited. How is it available? So our viewers know how to get it.
Okay, so it is going to be, so I have links on my website that goes to Foxpoint that will have a hardcover and a softcover. It's going to be on Amazon that will also have the hardcover, softcover, and there will be also an ebook. And then if you want, there's a copy you can order for me. So it's kind of like however you want to do it. It's options and everything like that. And if you would want a signed copy, just let me know.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. So there you go. So if you want a signed copy, straight from Raven. Please let her know. All her links and everything are attached to this interview, so you can locate her. And make sure when you do read Shadowspeak, please leave a review. You can do that on Goodreads or Amazon or wherever it is being sold. But you know, Goodreads and Amazon are the main two. But wherever you can, because they make the world of difference. They really do, and it's nice to give that thumbs up and that feedback to a new author.
Yeah. If you want to message me, go for it. Like if you have a question or you just want to like talk about it, like, or just talking books in general, I will warn you that depending on what we start talking about, I won't stop. So you'll have to be like, listen, I should probably go. And I'll be like, oh no, don't wait. I have more kind of thing. But if you want to message me, go for it. Like I know for myself, when I started, it was super scary to reach out to authors, even like when you first met them. But like a hi goes a long way. Like in my case, I might not stop talking. So like be warned.
That is so true. But do you know what? I think that's lovely, because I don't think enough authors are confident enough to actually communicate with their readers, and I think that's lovely. I really do. I absolutely commend you. Now, just to let everybody know, well, most of them know anyway, but we always tend to do a giveaway. And I did forget to. I'm going to put Raven on the spot now because I forgot to mention it before the interview because I was so sore. But anybody who shares your author interview will automatically get put into a draw to win a free ebook. So get sharing, everybody. You can share on book groups, you can share on book pages, you can share this video in, on book clubs, anywhere you want. As long as you share this original video, I will see it, and you will get an entry into to win a free ebook. So get sharing, everybody. It doesn't matter. You've got until Thursday. So get sharing. And the winners from my last interview, we have two. It was my first time interviewing two authors. I was quite nervous, I've got to tell you, Raven. But
you did great.
We rocked it. We did.
Yes.
So we got two winners. The first one is Terza Schaefer. She was sharing it everywhere, Raven. She is superstar. She did. Honestly, it was like 5 different groups. It was brilliant. And then we've got Starla Carr, who also shared in multiple places as well. So I'm not surprised they both got pulled out of the hat because they had so many entries.
Good for you guys.
I know, right? So Terza and Starla, if you can get in touch with myself, and then obviously I will get you in contact with Candice Robinson and Amber Dool. Finally got our name right. And then I hope we can get your ebooks to you. So thank you very much, everybody, for sharing our last show. Would it be okay to do the same?
Yeah, definitely.
There we go. Fantastic. So if you share this author interview with Raven Eckman, you'll get put into a draw to win a free ebook of Shadowspeak. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And please tell your friends and family about her fantastic book. Do you know what? Word of mouth and a recommendation goes a massively long way. And we all truly appreciate it as authors. And with it being your book birthday tomorrow and your fantastic new release, it's even more special. You have been such a joy to talk to, Raven.
Thank you.
You absolutely have. And I'm super excited for you. I really, really am. What an adventure. It really is. I'll tell you. So have you already started writing the book 2, the sequel?
The prequel. So, I mean, yes, book 2, but the prequel. So I have it outlined, and I actually sat down last night and had the first few opening pages. I'm a big person on prologues, and I know they're kind of iffy, depending on who your editor is, and then just in general if they work or not. But I have the prologue, a rough draft of the prologue done. And it might be creepier than Shadowspeak, so that's saying something. I was maybe I need to digress here. I check some things out.
You know what? It's funny because I've suddenly got this image of Marlena going, yes. She likes a bit of the dark. She does.
You can appreciate it. You can appreciate it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm just going to quickly go through a few last comments before we finish. Let's have a look. All of a sudden, they've all started piling in. Look. Okay, there we go. Josephine says, I was just going to say the same thing about reviews and the negativity, needing a thicker skin, but we shouldn't let the negativity soak in no matter what. Smile and carry on. Absolutely. We always get more good than bad anyway. So Jennifer says, I can deal with getting a bad review as long as it is helpful. The nasty ones, not necessary. I agree.
Relatable.
Yeah.
I agree.
I've been there. I've even had it done to me via other couple of authors. So never mind. Jealousy.
Oh no.
Yes, jealousy. Marlena says, expect a message from me later about signed copies. There we go.
All right.
For those of you, I've just seen the numbers jump up again. For those of you who missed it, you can purchase signed copies straight from Raven. So just to let you know, but if you want to do Fox Point Publishing and go through there to get your books, or Amazon or wherever, that is absolutely fine too. Josephine says, oh, lovely, that high energy chatting about books and what we write. It goes a long way, doesn't it? I love talking to people about books and writing and stuff. It does go a long way. Starla says, I'm at work, but I'll catch the replay. Hello, ladies. See, I told you. They sneak on and off.
Hello.
Starla, you might have missed it, but you actually won one of the free ebooks from sharing the last interview. So congratulations, darling, if you're still there. Josephine says, shared already.
Awesome.
She's awesome. Jennifer's shared as well. You guys are fantastic. Wanda says, be sure to share in the writing.
You guys are awesome.
That is wonderful. And Marlena says, it's true. I'm excited. See, I told you. I was like, she's like that. Yes. Raven, thank you so much for joining me, darling. It's been such an absolute joy. I know there will be loads more comments.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're an absolute pleasure to talk to. You really are. If you could keep up with the comments over the next few days, where people would watch later on and ask questions, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Definitely.
Will you come back when you release the prequel?
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, it's not related to Shadowspeak, but I do have some news coming in March. So I will gladly come back.
Oh, definitely. Oh, you'll have to message me and tell me all about it, and then we can organise something. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
and maybe we can get Kirsten on at some point as well.
Oh, she would love that. I'm throwing you on the spot, Kirsten, because I think you would love it. So I'm just making you do it. Just throwing that out there. Well, she always is like about promoting myself. So I'm like, surprise.
Well, now I've done one interview with 2 authors. I feel like a bit of a pro.
Oh, definitely.
Raven, thank you so much, darling.
Yes,
and thank you everybody for joining us. Tune in for Thursday, because we're going to be talking, it's February, Valentine's month and everything else. We'll be talking book boyfriends, romance books.
I'm ready.
Of all genres, Raven. It's going to be an absolute blast. All the secrets are going to be coming out on Thursday. So join us. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Leanna Dunk from Slam Dunk Luscious Reads.
Okay.
She is an absolute blast. It's going to be a hoot. So everybody join in, and thank you again, Raven. And
thank you for having me.
We will see you again soon, darling. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.